working, man.
I know what my audience like. I did some independent films with Master P. A lot of those movies did really well.
I'm ambitious, I'm a hustler. I have my own lane.
That's the thing about comedy. You wake up every day, you don't know if you're funny that day.
Yeah. What's the good word? Welcome to the program. So let's go live with Lamont King. I'm Lamont King. You are now officially live. Let's go. That's live. 1 2 1. 1 2 1. 1 2 1. 1 2 1 2. I saw it today. It was like play the numbers. Numerology. 1 2 1 2 1. There it is. 1 2 1 2 1. It was like a back and forth, like a, what do you call those? Like an anagram. Like today's date was the same if you read it back and forward. That's the reason enough to play the numbers right there. 1 2 1 1 2. It's a live show. Welcome to the program. Broadcasting live from the newly remodeled Drunken Fruit Studios. Appreciate that, Lord Jamal. Right here in the tiny closet command center. First timers, appreciate you coming to the show. Best thing you could be doing today at every day at 6 o'clock, Monday through Friday. Something like a podcast. Trending topics. Oh, almost turned into a radio guy right there. It's something like a podcast. Today in the news. 3 things you should know. Anyway, trending topics, celebrity guests, hilarious commentary, and interesting people, man. That's what it is. Repeat offenders. Oh, y'all couldn't hear the music? Oh, I'm in there bobbing my head. Let's go ahead and refresh this right now. I appreciate y'all for being so in tune. I haven't refreshed this browser in a couple of days. So let's do it now. Wonders of technology. Let's play the beat again, because I like it. Let's play the beat again. Y'all ain't even hear Lord Jamal. All right. Let's play the beat. So anyway, sound effects are off. Trending topics. Something like a podcast. Hilarious commentary. Special guests and interesting people. Check out our number 1 sponsor. I just said the date. How can it be a rerun if I said the date? Come on, man. Check out our longest running sponsor, Drunken Fruit. For pricing and information. Here's the email. See about them. Hopefully you can hear the music. Thumbs up in the chat, YouTube. All right, good to see y'all. West Coast, East Coast, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. to 7 Eastern time. I appreciate y'all. 1 2 1 2 1. 1 2 1 2 1. Play the numbers. Play the numbers. All right. So I'll turn that off. And yeah, once again, broadcasting live from the newly remodeled Drunken Fruit Studios.
I don't care if it is a closet. You still looking mad official.
Thank you again, Lord Jamal, for the second time. All right, here we go. Haynes, he said, calm down. No, it's not. The date is 1 2 1 2 1. Yes. So there it is. Anyway, so what it is not a rerun, but it's a throwback Thursday. It's a couple interviews I think y'all may have missed that I would love for y'all to see. Especially this Ralph Tresvant one where he talks about being replaced. Well, he was originally supposed to be replaced by someone. I've never heard this story, so we're gonna play that, and also the Dopest doctor, and which white people do you trust? What top 5 white people you want to see take the vaccine before you take it? And this is from the Karen Hunter Show. So we're gonna get into that real quick without further ado. In case you missed it, on this Throwback Thursday, I hope all of y'all enjoying yourself. We got your inauguration hangover. It's done. The prime time yesterday was amazing. We're gonna be talking about that tomorrow with John Watson on All Fun and Games. The prime time version of the inauguration. What a production! Did you see the fireworks? What a goddamn production! All right, we're gonna talk about that tomorrow. So real quick, in case you missed it, this is a Let's Go Live exclusive. A couple of these are from the Karen Hunter Show, but you're still going to enjoy it. Please welcome the Dopest. Guest, man, I want you to welcome into Let's Go Live. She's so many things. I'll read the bio. I don't even like reading bios. I'm going to read the bio. All right. Janice Armstrong, or Dr. J, the Dopest doctor, is the CEO of Like Consulting as a certified life and leadership development coach, organizational consultant, and learning development specialist. She is also a body positive fitness instructor and CEO of Cranked Up Cardio, a fitness format inspired by the Be More Club culture. She has learned to balance her own life of being a wife, a mother, and a full-time and part-time worker, all while facing and overcoming challenges with autoimmune disease. Major situation. Let's go to the commercial first before I introduce her. Let's check it out. Let's hear more about it. Y'all should be able to hear it. I got my G's up. All right, here it is.
Hey, this is Dr. J, the Dopest doctor and the creator of Cranked Up Cardio. It's fitness that rocks all the way to the dot. This fitness phenomenon has been in the making for 8 years, and I am proud to bring it to you. So what is it? It brings Be More Club dance to the fitness floor. It's influenced by Baltimore club music, my favorite music, and my favorite dance style. It's reminiscent of times when I used to battle at the Be More Club, the Paradox. It's fitness that rocks all the way to the Paradox. You can take basic aerobic steps and we crank them up. So that way you can take those same steps to the dance floor. In 35 minutes, you can burn up to 600 calories. And for my Nike Fuel users, you'll be able to burn up to 1,100 fuel points. Now, how many people have said, I'm too old for that? Well, it doesn't matter if you're 16 or 66. Let me tell you, you'll be able to keep up. So if you're trying to get down with this fitness phenomenon and get down on the dance floor at the same time, fitness with hypness. Fitness that rocks all the way to the Paradox. Cranked Up Cardio. Keep it cranked.
That's my joint right there. I hope we don't get blocked. I did a whole thing on Go with RE and Snoop last week, and they blocked the entire episode. But anyway, all right, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the program. Let's go live with Dr. J. What's good with you?
Hey, what's going on?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too, man.
Long time no see.
I know, right?
Yeah, man. How you feel?
I'm good, doing well, and you?
Hey.
Congratulations on your pivot.
Yes. you have to. You know what I mean? Not a choice in 2020. But yeah, man, let's get right into it. Speaking of pivots, mine is minimal. You know what I mean? It was kind of easy, different at the same time. But social media has allowed us to do different things. And before I pivoted, I like to tell people that they inspire me in certain ways, right? Because in social media, you can watch people progress and evolve. And
Absolutely.
I gotta admit, you're one of those people that I've been watching.
Oh, thank you.
You are, because you a lot of your story, and that's why you're here today. A lot of your story has played out on social media.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like all your degrees, I know you got at least 4. You got at least 4. I feel like I was you got more than 4? 5? You got 5?
Working on 6.
Working on. I feel like I've been there for at least 4 of them.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Because it's like those milestones, and social media allows us to do that for friends and family.
Mhm.
And that's definitely a commendable accomplishment for the things that you have done so far. So I just want to, as far as pivot and multitasking, you're one of those people I watch, because
Thank
when you go about any given day and you see yourself, man, I ain't trying to do this shit no more. I ain't trying. And then you see somebody, I just got my 3rd PhD. It's a blessing, and you can do anything you want. Then I gotta look. I be like, God damn, okay, I can do anything. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Just give us a little bit of your background, where you came from, and what got you to where you are today.
Okay. Born and raised Baltimore, Maryland. I am the middle child to my wonderful parents who actually inspired me to be a multitasking type. Just a little bit of background. In 1993, both my parents lost their jobs at the same time. So I watched them work hard with their own talents or whatever they could do, because my dad and my mom only did one thing, and that was work their jobs.
Right.
And so when they lost it, it wasn't that they had to scramble to find something to back it up, but he always told us, don't just do one thing, because we've watched it. So my mom, she sewed or whatever, and that was actually the year of my junior prom. So we found a dress, expensive dress, had a little tear on the sequin. She fixed it, and we got it for like 80% off. It was like ridiculous. And so she made my senior prom dress, and the family came together and actually put money in the pool just to keep us going until my parents got back up on their feet. So that's what I know is community effort. And when it comes to a family doing whatever you need to do to keep it up, no matter who might be down, the next person should be there to lift it up. So that's all I know. So even through college, you knew NBC. I mean, I did like 1,000,001 things, and it didn't seem different to me. It was just what I knew. I mean, even when my parents weren't working, we made things and did arts and crafts and sold them, and my mom would cook and sell certain things. So that's how I was in college. I did hair in college in my dorm room because I was like, hey, I need some extra cash. I'm a freshman. I need to do something. So that's what I did. Then worked the desk staff and then student government. So it was like wherever I could use my talents and capitalize off of them, that's what I've done all my life.
Now, did it help? Because we gotta dig into that. Did it help that you are aware of your talents? Because a lot of people may want to multitask, but don't know of their talents. They don't even know what their gifts are.
You're absolutely right. And it took a try. I tried. I'll do it. I'll see if I'm able to do it, and if I knew that I had a little bit of skill, I'd work on it and be like, okay, I can do this. I like it if I enjoy it. Now, one thing I will say, I worked in areas that I enjoy most.
Okay.
I've been in that place where I didn't like a job and I was like, not doing that no more. So I've learned to grow in those things and actually plant. Some people will put all their energy in one thing. I plant little seeds, and at different points in time, they just tend to sprout up, and I can, maximize or capitalize off of it at the time. So where I have all these seeds and, people might just see me, working a job here and there or whatever, I still got things in my back pocket that if anything was to happen financially for my family or whatever, actually things have happened financially for our family, especially when they had the government furlough, we were affected. Yeah. But I had the things in my back pocket that that kept us afloat. So yeah, that's the way I go about life, man.
When you were in college, did you know what you wanted to do?
Not initially, because I changed my major like twice. But once I got into like taking psychology classes, I enjoyed actually understanding the human mind and how people think. And so I went in that direction, and I stumbled upon working with people with developmental disabilities. And I enjoyed that job tremendously. Growing from that, I started training them, and then that's how I became into the teaching field. But that really gave me insight on how people can go above and beyond what other people think they can do.
Right.
They constantly shock me on a daily basis. And I think the funniest and funnest thing that I had ever done was sex education classes for couples with developmental disabilities. And when I tell you some of the stuff that came out of that.
Sex education
Mhm.
for couples with developmental. But that's everybody. Isn't that all of us? No?
What? As far as having a developmental disability in some areas, very true. But I'm just going by the clinical use.
Oh, okay. All right.
And and that was
Wow.
a lot of fun.
I think that's stuff like that people don't really think about.
Right.
Like what does that entail? What are you actually helping them with?
How to determine how they can establish their relationships.
Okay.
Developing them, physical aspects of it. The same thing that you would do in a sex education course for a teenager. Safe sex, stuff like that. How to have conversations with each other. So it was like a 6-series course that I developed for them, and it was a lot of fun.
Now, so coming out of college, your first degree was which?
It was dual. It was bachelor's in psychology and African American studies.
Okay, you went right into the classroom, if I remember.
No, that's when I went to counseling.
Oh, okay.
I went to counseling.
But you were in the schools.
Huh?
You were in the schools, though, right?
No, nope.
You never in the schools?
Not K through 12.
Oh, okay.
No. Now I will say, in my consulting firm, I did do leadership development courses for the C School of Maryland.
Okay, that's probably what I remember.
Okay. Yep.
All right. So then your third degree.
My third, that's the Master's in Counseling Psychology Rehab.
Okay, so in the same vein.
Yes.
In the same vein. Now, what was the motivation
to get the counseling psychology degree?
Yeah, to get the master. After you got a dual, and you're going in the same lane. What's the motivation?
Well, I was living at home with my parents, and me working in that field, I really wanted to do more. And I wanted to really dive into understanding the laws and policies that surround about the protections of people with disabilities. So that's why I went there. So that way I could become at first a vocational rehabilitation counselor, which I did, I did become that.
All right. Now what's the fourth one?
With what?
Degree.
Oh, fourth one. I thought you said the forefront. I was like, with what? Sorry. The fourth one. Okay. So Doctor of Strategic Leadership with a focus in leadership coaching.
Okay. So that's PhD.
Yes. It's equivalent. Yes. It's a doctorate.
Right. What was that experience like?
That was where I think I really learned how multitasking was placed in my life. I mean, of course, like I said, I've done a lot of stuff before, but that was probably the most challenging.
I think that's the one you talked the most about too.
Yeah, because I had both of my kids while getting my doctorate. I really had to talk, with my husband about, actually, I talked to him about whether I should go for a doctor. He was like, sure. He was supported, this, that, and the other. So I was like, cool. But in the midst of that, then we find out I'm pregnant. So now it's like, okay, so what do we need to do? How do we need to shift? Do I need to stop? And he was like, if you feel like you can do it, I'll support you. Go ahead and do it. But if we find that it's causing any stress with the pregnancy, it's a done deal. Kids first. So I made it through the first pregnancy and had my boy. And then a year later, and I was still in my third year, that's when I had my daughter. And I was actually in the midst of my final project dissertation because it's an applied degree. And I actually had her 3 weeks after I finished that. But I couldn't do it by myself. It was me and my husband just trying to make it work. And, we live out a Google Calendar. So, if he had some free time, then he took on the boy while I was studying. So.
And then the one you're currently working on, degree number 6. Okay.
Degree number 6 is an MBA.
So I thought that was 3. The master's. Oh, that was just a regular master's.
Yeah, I had a master's in counseling psychology. Then the 5th one was a master's in learning design, and now it's an MBA.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
Which is absolutely free. That's the only reason why I'm doing it.
I was about to say, what's the motivation for that? Like, how do you stay motivated after all that level of achievement?
I am addicted to education, I guess.
Okay.
Or I'm
That's fair.
crazy, one or the other.
No, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. And so the PhD, how long did that take?
3.5 years. It was a
Yeah.
4-year program, but because I was pregnant with my daughter, I came up with a proposal. Well, it's a 3.5 to 4-year program. So I went for the 3.5. So I had to come up with a proposal and work with my panel and committee. Some people call it panel, some people call it committees, to establish a timeline to try and be done by a certain time. And so they supported it. They had sometimes it takes forever to build committees, but because I put in a proposal, they had already started.
Right.
So the school actually helped me to be able to finish and be able to have my children.
Now, when you have these things on the mantle, what is it that you can do now? You're a consultant, you're an instructor. Are you in session constantly? Are you teaching? Are you presenting? Like, what is your field like now? What is your industry like?
It's all instruction.
Okay.
I do, and everything I do, my full-time jobs with the DOD, I do systems instruction for the military. I started with PGCC 17 years ago, taught psychology. After I got my degree from UMGC in 2018, they hired me to teach that same degree. And then I just got hired with Shaw University.
Okay.
In business management. So it's in all different fields, but everything that I've learned up to this point, I'm utilizing. Those seeds that are planted, I'm now utilizing them.
Now, so you're now an instructor at Shaw University, which is in North Carolina.
Yep.
But because of COVID is put us on our ass, we're inside, and virtual learning is a real thing for students and for people that are capable of teaching virtually.
Absolutely.
How has that changed the game for you? Because I saw one thing where you literally, I think you're like at 3 institutions.
Yes. Yep. At 3.
How has that game changed for you? Is it easy? I feel like almost on some level, it's got to be easier.
It is. I mean, well, with PG, I did face-to-face instruction, but I'm still on that roster. So if they ever need me for classes, but I shifted more to UMGC, which is a primarily online institution.
Okay.
So as far as time management, it's a whole lot easier because I'm not having to leave my home to go and do face-to-face instruction on 1 or 2 days a week. And so it makes it a little easier to even take on other, opportunities, much like the Shaw opportunity.
Right.
So I'm saying if people got master's degrees and PhDs, this is the time to get on because these colleges are having to shift and shift very quickly. Because some of them tried to do in-person instruction and they were like, people got COVID, had to send them back home. So I'm like, if you're looking to be an instructor, jump on a joint now because this is the time to do it.
Does it make you feel any kind of way that, I get virtual is new for everybody, but you're literally taking, I don't know if that's the same thing, taking a job from somebody that would have, in North Carolina, would have gotten it, but now all you have to do is have an internet connection and be qualified.
Well, they still had their in residence staff. They just transferred to virtual. So they had to open up more opportunities because now it's about the money. College is like, wait a minute, everybody can go virtual and we can still bring in more students, don't have to worry about classrooms or anything like that. So now we have no limitations in brick and mortar. We can bring in this money. So nobody's losing. If anything, people are gaining. Right.
All right. So 9 to 5 day job.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have side business.
Yeah.
Cranked Up Cardio.
Yep.
We saw the video. We saw the commercial, which is an amazing concept. Are you still as active in that with the new jobs and the new degrees? Like, how is that playing out?
Mm-hmm. Well, first, I always thank you because we had that conversation on how this joint was built. So, I have done a lot of work with Cranked Up Cardio, of course, building it or whatever. But in the midst of COVID, I have instructors that I've trained in the format. And a lot of them, even instructors who aren't trained, but we just good friends, they lost their jobs in the midst of COVID because the gyms had to close.
Right.
So, I mean, it didn't affect me because I was already doing virtual stuff and I wasn't really teaching regularly because of my disorder. So what I did was I had a Zoom account. I already had a Zoom account with my business, but it's a pro account. Most people get the free one and then they have to cut their classes. So I brought some people on board. I was like, hey, it was almost like a virtual gym. And we had a schedule, and it was only supposed to be for a few months, and it wound up going up to almost 6 months. But it kept them having money in their pockets. Right. And granted, we had a cut, but I always took I took a very small portion of the cut because I wanted them to make sure, and it's probably what they got was probably more than what gyms would give them anyway, which was a great thing. Right. So they've learned to establish even on their own, they can do their stuff virtually. So they're not, committed to having to stay with the platform CrankCon, was what I called it. But it helped them along the way in the midst of COVID, helping them to pivot. And the money that I got off of it, I give back into people that also lost out, like DJs, who are now mixing online, but they lost their contracts because of COVID, you know? So I just started sowing into other people because I feel like if you sow into others, you're going to get that back in some way. And I just feel like that the blessings are in constant rotation when I do stuff like that.
Absolutely. And now, Cranked Up Cardio specifically, you built that business while you were in school.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And while your kids were kids.
Yes. Yep, I did.
How did you pull it off?
In 2013, I had just graduated from Regent University, where I got my degree. And it is a school of business. So when I started going to Regent, they had us already establishing business from the first class. So we had to develop a business, which was my consulting firm. So I already had that baseline of how to do it. I already knew legally how to do it because I'm not trying to do no bootleg stuff. Everything is like Maryland State, federal, above board. So with the kids, the motivation was, of course, I had gained weight from having babies. And so I was already exercising, much like I told you, I was already exercising the club music and stuff. But then you were like, well, you ever thought about doing it and bringing it public? And I'm like, no, it's just me, but when I sat on that and thought about it, I was like, okay, well, how can I develop it? So it's not like at the time Zumba was extremely blowing up. I'm not that it's not still blown up, but I didn't want people to call it Club Zumba, which they tried to. And I'm like, no, it's two different things. So I actually came up with a concept where it's not just dance fitness, it's taking aerobic steps like you would do in an aerobic class and cranking them up to Baltimore club steps. So we exercise and still get our exercise with dance, but I didn't want it to be compared to Zumba. So I literally got videos of me thinking up cons. I was actually looking at some of these the other day, just how I came up with the steps and cranking them up and how, I established a curriculum and everything. So I kind of built it over time, even while having the kids there. Right. I just did it page by page. And next thing I know, I have this curriculum and I'm like, okay, so what am I do with it?
Yeah. So like I said, you said give me the shout or whatever. I just threw water on an already planted seed. That's all I can't take the credit for that, but I'll tell the story. Mm-hmm. So, you went to UMBC. I was already there. Mm-hmm. For those that don't know anything about Baltimore or the colleges that are up there, UMBC, PWI, but we partied harder than everybody else. So everybody used to come to our parties, right? Yeah. Yep. So when you came, and I'm a fan of club. I've been a fan of club. I used to live in Detroit. I like house. I like Jersey club. So I'm have diverse music taste. But in our era, when we were in school, when the different regional music came on, the floor would separate. When go-go came on, it was just DC and PG. All the Baltimore people, stood to the side. Mm-hmm. When Baltimore came on, vice versa. When New York came on, you had a little bit of a blend, but it was just very segregated, and the music was very polarizing. But I just remember when Baltimore Club came on, I mean, you would literally take over the dance floor and just do these solos that had every individual dance in like the combos, you know what I'm saying, that the hoppers would do. And it was just very dramatic, and it commanded attention, and everybody would stand around and watch you go off. And so that's what it was. So it was everybody knew Janice the Dancing Machine.
Yes.
So fast forward 20 years easily. We had a reunion, and you know, college reunions. I know some of y'all of a certain age watching this program right now. College reunion, you know, you think you still got it, and you don't. It was the homecoming party or whatever, and the club came on, and she was doing the same thing, the same way, at the same speed. Everybody else by this point was taking breaks. Everybody sitting on the stage, drinking water, and like you still killing the joint. And I remember I was like, damn, that'd be a hell of a workout tape. Because, you know, all of us are here out of shape watching you do work. And I remember we rapped, I said, yo, those combos, that's like a workout. And then you was like, yo, I had been thinking about it, but I never figured out, like, I couldn't figure out how to do it or what it would look. And I was like that.
You did say that.
Exactly what you was just doing and explain the moves and all of that. I said, man, that joint is out of here. And so a lot of times, like I said, I'm not taking the credit for that, but a lot of times all it takes is to hear that from somebody else to confirm what you already been thinking.
Which is just as important. That's why I keep saying what I say.
Yeah. And it's like, you know, a lot of times we're our own worst critic. So it's like, I could, maybe. I don't know who would watch it. And then somebody else would be like, oh, shit, yeah, I watch that. You know what I'm saying? And then you'd be like, oh, well, then let me just do it. And so that's amazing. And I just wanted to, you know.
Thank you.
Shout out to that. Because you were doing it the same way. And then you look in the video like you're still doing it. You know what I'm saying? So that's big. All right. So we got academia out the way. We got child rearing. We got your, when you mentioned, shout out to Jackie, your supportive husband.
Thank you.
We got the side business. And then in comes autoimmune disease.
Yep. That was the shutdown of my life.
Walk us through that.
Let's see, 2015. Well, actually 2014. So that's a year into me doing cranked up cardio. I started feeling kind of weird after now I know it was after I would eat certain things, but I didn't know what was causing it. I started having vertigo, and it had started affecting my driving, my care for my family. 2015, the poop really hit the fan. I was at a fitness event, and I literally got sick right after I got off stage. And what I always tried to, I always prayed that I would not show anything while I was on stage. So most of the time after 2015, if you ever saw me on stage, I was really pushing through it if I was not well. But what autoimmune disease does is I'm healthy. If you look at my blood work, everything is great, but my body attacks itself. The cells in my body, they attack itself. So the white blood cells, which is supposed to take away, you know, illnesses and stuff, you know, it's supposed to attack, you know, things that are cause your body to be ill. It's attacking healthy stuff. And like the shirt I had on the other day, I was like, you know, I pretty much can kick my own butt. Autoimmune disease, you know, I kick my own butt. But so with that, it was hard to determine what the triggers were initially. Stress was a trigger once I found out later. About 2016, I was in a really stressful job. And I started getting more and more sick, and I couldn't understand what was going on. And I kind of felt bad because my kids weren't understanding either because they were so young. And I had to figure out how to tell them when mommy couldn't run around as much anymore, or couldn't play with them as much anymore, or, you know, I'm too tired to stay awake and do a bedtime story here and there. So I had to start doing my own research as to what was going on, because autoimmune disease, the advocacy program is only 25 years old. So it's still a relatively new disorder that has no cure. And doctors are still trying to understand it. Specifically, even rheumatologists who are supposed to be experts in the field are still trying to understand it. So some examples of some diseases that people may be more familiar with, like MS or lupus, those are autoimmune disease. But also they have been researched for way longer but now it's found that it's over 100 autoimmune diseases. And it's like, they're like the when you want to go out somewhere and you don't want to go by yourself, so you bring your friends. That's what autoimmune disease is like. It's never exists one time. It's not just one thing. It brings other things with it. So after much research, having a primary care physician who is tremendously great, even though he didn't know as much about it, he helped me through it to try and find out solutions. It all boiled down to gut health and what I was eating. And they have this thing called leaky gut syndrome. And so basically what that is based on what you eat and how your body reacts to it, it creates holes in your intestine.
Okay.
So where normally your intestine is closed up and it's, starting to take out the toxins in one way so you can, poop them out and you have, the rest of the stuff to nourish your body, the holes were creating toxins that were escaping into my system and causing the vertigo, causing the illnesses, causing the nausea. I mean, it was just so many things. When it would really be at its worst and I would flare, I could barely get through talking through a sentence. I would stutter so bad. I would have brain fog where I wouldn't remember things that would happen, or while I'm speaking, I would totally forget. Now people be like, well, that's just could be age. Nah, you can actually feel that your mind is not doing what it's supposed to do. And I found out, like I said, in 2015, towards the end of the year, I actually had a mini stroke and didn't know it. I was walking with a cane. My husband had to drive me to work. But after I had got my test done, my doctor had informed me that I had a mini stroke. Wow. And I was like, okay. So, and it could have been the autoimmune disease and the stress because there was just a lot going on at the time. So after I did my own research, I found that it is a deficiency in vitamins, supplements, things of that sort. Also changing what I eat. I don't eat gluten. There's so much stuff I don't eat. If I ran the list, we would be here for another 30 minutes.
Wow.
But gluten is a major thing that I cannot eat. But I had to change my diet and shift it. And even in the midst of that, I found I had hypothyroidism. So no matter how much I'm working out, this, that, and the other, my thyroid like, nope, we good. But the good thing about it is, after doing my research, changing how I ate, I still stay physically active, almost exercising almost daily. I've not had any pain because I used to have physical pain. Like if you lifted weights for like an hour and then, you have that pain, like the next 2 days, I would have it for like a week, but it would be probably 3 times as much.
Wow.
And I used to constantly take 800 milligrams of ibuprofen like that. But now I haven't had pain in 2 years.
Now, is autoimmune disease the category or the actual diagnosis?
It's the actual diagnosis. But the reason why they have to umbrella it is because you still have to take tests to find out the specifics. Okay. Like, for instance, I'm listed as lupus-like syndrome because I have a majority of the symptoms that's associated with lupus, but the tests don't show it. So my rheumatologist is like, hey, continue to do what you need to do, but we have to test you every year to make sure that it's not going to expand to lupus.
Did you say lupus-like or light?
Like.
Oh,
L-I-K-E. I mean, L-I-K-E, yes.
I said lupus light. I was like, I didn't know they had a diet lupus out there, low-calorie lupus. That would be interesting. So how do you, so you've made the changes in your eating. Someone asked in the peanut gallery, Sharice asked, is that considered a lifestyle illness? Because obviously you've rectified it, a little bit at least by changing your lifestyle. So is that the cure? Is that the?
From the research, a lot of people are saying that just basically changing your lifestyle would help it, depending, because, well, yeah, I guess you could say that, because if you take the stressors out, if you take the things out that you eat, it could do that. It could resolve the issue. The reason why I wouldn't label it as strictly a lifestyle illness is because there are other illnesses like MS where, the myelin sheath or the lining that covers the nerves in your brain that disintegrates, and it has nothing to do with how you change your lifestyle. It's just how your body has reacted and how it has attacked the nerves in your brain. So I being as though I'm not a medical doctor, I wouldn't put the stamp on it like that, simply because there are other conditions that sometimes the change in lifestyle is not going to work, especially if it's hormonal, because you can't really control that as much.
So, on the vein of multitasking, like, how do you, now that we've heard everything that you do and have done, like, how do you, in this COVID era, how do you manage all of it?
Again, I just tried.
Or what are some ways you can help us manage our lives in such a fashion?
Well, first, you might not, if you're not as crazy as I am, which I don't recommend it if you're not, but take one step at a time. It's hard enough that in this COVID time, we going through some stresses. And the biggest thing is to take care of you, because if you're not taking care of you, none of the stuff that you want to do is going to be done. And that had to be constantly told to me, because it like, slow down, do what you need to do, focus on yourself. But I would keep going. But then that's when I would shut down. So focus on yourself, focus on your family, and meet your needs first in the midst of this COVID thing, meaning stay safe, wear your mask, socially distance, stay your butt home when you don't need to go out. Because that helps us as a community, but we know that there's some folk that just don't want to hear that. So I'm just saying, if from me telling other people, focus on you and your family first, because if that core is shattered, it doesn't matter what you do, you're going to continue to have that issue in your life because that core is shattered.
Right.
But if all is well in that core, if you're looking to expand and multitask and do things as far as making money in this COVID situation, find something that will not be affected, or has, find something that will be less affected when things like this hit. Like we said, the virtual situation, there's so many jobs that can be done virtually. If you're interested in, coaching and stuff like that, that can be done virtually. Teaching can be done virtually. People have multi-level marketing. If that's your thing, that can be done, virtually. So doing businesses where, you're doing business or commerce virtually, those things that we know will not be attacked if something was to happen, whether it's furloughs. I mean, of course, people got hit with the government. We thinking that the government is the most stable, and it's not. We saw that. We saw that. And then out of that, again, use of talents, you had the young ladies that came up with the cheesecake business, and it's thriving like ridiculously. And they opened a shop at National Harbor, but that was based on the talent that they have. So just do what you like, what you enjoy, and figure out how to maximize and capitalize off of it, if that's what you want to do.
Spoken like a true champ right there. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Janice Armstrong, life coach, business owner, mom, wife, survivor, dancer, and so much more. I really appreciate you, coming on and just shooting the gift with us.
Thanks so much for having me.
Awesome story. I'm always, just inspired by just watching your move. So I appreciate you and wish you the best.
Thank you, sir. Much success on your show, and I hope it blow up. I'm looking forward to that, man.
And might I add, I left this out. You one of the day ones for Let's Go Live.
Yeah.
One of the literal day ones for Let's Go Live. So shout out to that. Tell Jack I said what up.
Yep. I think he's on here. He probably heard you.
All right. I'll holler at you.
All right. Have a great one.
All right.
All right. Y'all take care. Peace.
Yeah, man. There it is. Back at it. It's one of those feel good stories, man. I always like to replay when we get a chance, in case you missed it. People you should know. That's interesting people. That falls in the interesting people category. So, that's a cool story. So there's that. All right. Coming up in a little bit. I don't know if you know this, but every Friday for the last year and a half or so, I'm a co-host on the Karen Hunter Show on Sirius XM, Urban View Channel 126. And we got a chance to interview a lot of people. And I need to play more clips on this show. I just don't be thinking about it. But we had Ralph Tresvant, Riz, new edition, a little while ago. And he was giving up some juice. He said he's talking now. After all these years, he's been the only one that don't talk out the group. But he's talking now, so he gave us some a little bit of inside juice. We'll get to that in a moment. But here's another segment in case you missed it from the Karen Hunter Show. where we talked about taking the vaccine. This is big convo now that we got the new presidency, new president in office. Big convo about these vaccines. And early on, we were trying to figure out, I'll take it if you take it. I need to see the top 5 white people that take the vaccine before I trust it. So here it is. Is that, in case you missed it.
Let me do my top 5 as well.
Okay.
Top
right.
5 white people. If they took the vaccine, I would trust. Wait, hold on. Let me find my list because it was changing. I had to go back and dear
You
great
added some
pumpkin.
people. You made some
Where is it?
adjustments.
No, I had to make an adjustment or two.
I'm trying to think.
All right.
It's really
ready?
only one person on my list, but go ahead.
Number 5. Betty White. I think if she took it, I wouldn't. She seems
Really?
trustworthy. She thanked me for being her friend. She traveled down the road and back again. Her heart is true.
But-
She's
oh,
a pal
nice.
and a confidant.
Nice. I see what you did there. But but see, I would have to. So I'm gonna give you a counter for all of your choices. I'm gonna give you a counter. So my
Okay.
my counter
No,
for her is
go ahead.
she can afford to gamble. She can afford to gamble.
Yeah, because she's 90 something.
Yes.
But I'm thinking, even if you're 90 something, you still want to live.
Sure.
I'm thinking you're not thinking you don't want to die of COVID-19 in your 90s because this intubation, that's
Yeah.
a horrible way to go out. I actually will counter your counter and say, if I'm 90, I want to just go to sleep and not wake up. I don't want to not be able to breathe, have some tubes stuck down my throat,
True.
go through this horrible coughing, hacking for the last little bit of time I got on this earth. Hell no, I don't want none of that.
I'll take it back.
So I'm thinking she's more safe than anything. That's why I picked her because she
right.
was so old. Number 4, Smiz. If Smiz took the virus vaccine, I would say, I trust Smiz. I trust him. I think he wouldn't lead us down the path of.
I'm ready to take the vaccine.
Are
Yes,
you?
I'm ready for it.
Okay, when
I'm here
Smiz
for it.
takes it, I'm gonna wait a couple of months to see if he, dies. I hope
Because
that
to be
doesn't happen.
honest, there was a slight, very slight. I've always been a pro-vaccine person.
Oh.
Anti-vaxxers have it's just always gotten under my skin, all that stuff. But I was a bit, skeptical like yourself, especially why was it so quick? But Dr. Chris T. Purnell the other day, I was like, all right, done. Tell me when. I'm here.
See? But I'm gonna wait though. I'm not just gonna go.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna be in line next to him. I'm just, I'm gonna wait, see how it shows up. Number 3.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe I don't trust Smith because he's not good with the drum roll. Bill Nye, the science guy. I think he knows science.
Okay.
I trust him.
He knows science. He doesn't necessarily know medicine. He doesn't know medicine. He knows science.
Okay, but if he takes it, I know that he has the wherewithal to actually go down a scientific journal, medical journal rabbit hole.
Okay.
He's not just going to take it. He's going to go through all of it. I think he's got the acumen to read everything. He knows what the damn ingredients are. Like I trust that he'll research, that he's not just going to be like, all right, sign me up.
Okay.
Bill Nye, the science guy. These are white people that I would trust to take it. Number 2, Greta Thunberg.
How dare you?
Yeah, why her? Why her?
I feel like she cares about the environment. I think she cares about people. She's feisty. I don't think she's here for the games. I think she's somebody that would, not just lead people down a path of wrong. I think she's paying attention to science too, another science person. Apparently I'm on delay. Okay, I'm sorry I'm delaying, Lamont. It's me, not you. But yeah, I think that Greta Thunberg, and she's young. She'll be 18 by the time I think the vaccine is up and running.
Teenagers are tricky. You can't really trust them like you could an 11-year-old. When did she come out? When did she get popular? When she was like 12? A couple years ago?
12, yeah. So that's why. Yeah.
Now she's 18. Now it's tricky. I don't know if I could trust her at 18. She's got different. she's got a different point of view at this point in life. I don't know. Does she drive yet?
And my number 1, I don't know. She probably drives. She probably drives a boat. Number 1, Angelina Jolie and all of her children. So that's a group thing. I feel like they're from all different backgrounds. It's like the UN. She's got an African, Cambodian. She got kids from all over. She's got a transgender child. She got every spectrum is covered. And I think she's a white lady that cares about people. Angelina, her father is an asshole, and she's trying to overcome that. Because, some of the people who are raised by assholes, they usually go the opposite. Not everybody turns into Trump, who's following in the footsteps of his asshole father. Most people are like, oh, my parents are asshole. Let me be a humanitarian, which is what she has done.
So this is the same
humanitarian.
This is the same Angelina Jolie who her and her ex-husband Billy Bob Thornton used to wear vials of each other's blood around their necks.
Right. So here's what you need to do. Hold on, Lamont. Can I judge you based on what you did 20 years ago?
No, sure. Most people do.
Judge you based
Most
on what
people
you
do. Most people.
But is it fair?
We
Have
live
you
in a
not grown as a
judgmental.
person?
If I wanted to host an Oscar, it's going to come. Anything 20 years ago is going to come out. Definitely. And for that reason,
I think 20 minutes ago, you're sketchy. All right, fine. This ain't the damn Shark Tank. This is my list.
I've been binge watching. I've been binge watching that.
I see. I can tell you.
And for that reason,
tied in. All right. What do you have a list?
Yeah, well, actually, like I said, I had one name. They got one name, and it would be Smith.
All right, Smith. Oh.
It would be Smith.
Oh, you too?
Yeah.
Okay.
It would be Smith.
Look,
I feel like even though I've only known him for a year, I feel like he wouldn't be on no bullshit. So I watch, and I would wait though. I would wait. I would have to see if his hair grows back or whatever's happening. I would have to see it.
I
would have to see it.
Okay.
Come on, I'm losing my hair already. That's not fair. That's not fair. To be fair.
He said if it grows back, if it grows, then that's a problem.
If it grows
Yeah.
But I'm happy to provide weekly, daily updates whenever I get it.
See, and that's the other. He's transparent. We'll get blood work. We'll know.
Yeah, I'll take
that.
Know
if he has a third nipple that comes out. We need to know all of the things. If his underarms turn black, we need to know if his skin turns black. Remember that early parts of COVID, people were getting treated with hydrochloroquine. It was turning black in China.
Man,
you remember that? I don't know if that was a hoax, but it was hilarious. All right.
They should use coconut oil for that. And
Mitch McConnell take some of that?
Oh,
his hands? He might have, because his hands are definitely. I think the black hands match his heart.
Oh,
I
there
think
we
he
go.
has a heart condition and it's spreading down to the hands.
All right. There's that. All right. One more before we dip up out of here. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. This is a live show, 12121. Hit the thumbs up, turn on your notifications, and let's make it happen, man. And feel free. Cash App, $. Hold on, let's see. Let's get this up first. Let's get that Ralph, that Riz. Get that in position first. You make this show run, man. So I'm glad everybody brought somebody today. You make this show run. Yes, you do. So we are 100% viewers supported by viewers like you. $, Lamont King 06. Send us $1, $2, $3, whatever floats your boat. All right, here's some great content. This will be how we end up the show. Ralph Tresvant, he tells a story about who was sent in to replace him back in the late 80s, early 90s. You probably already know, but I guarantee you don't know this story, this version.
A closer look on UMC streaming on there. What are we going to see in this docuseries? What is it? Give me something that will be surprising or shocking.
You're going to see me. You're going to see me. That's surprisingly shocking enough for most people. I've been quiet. I haven't said anything. You've never heard my perspective. I've never addressed it. I've just kind of rolled punches, kept quiet about things, sucked it up. It's like I dealt with everything like your family does. Most of the time, the dirt stuff stays within the family. You don't want it out there in the whole neighborhood, knowing your business and stuff. So I kind of lived by that. And as I've gotten older, just gotten more into just telling the facts before it's all said and done. And I'm not able to just make sure that these facts and these things are out there in the way that they should be, the way they should be being told and understood. And that was important to me going into this docuseries. I think at the end of the day, you have to kind of watch it because there's a lot of diehards who will know a lot of the stuff that was said, but then there's things that was addressed. Like a lot of people who don't really follow the group don't know that Johnny Gill was brought into the group by Belle Biv DeVoe to replace me, not New Edition. I mean, not Bobby Brown, I'm sorry. When he came to the table, that's how
that's new.
Yeah, so
Wait,
he was
back up.
Just
My. Hold on. My. So Bobby, excuse me, because watching the biopic as if that is like, Bobby was the problem, right? So Johnny was gonna come in, and put on that red dress and those high heels. All right, so go ahead. So tell us, how did this happen now?
I mean, without going too much into the biopic, because I want people to watch the whole thing, but that was a part of it that was addressed in detail and got down to the facts of it, which basically, during the time right before the Heartbreak album came, I was working on a project. Well, I was just working on music and things outside of New Edition. I was doing other things. I was starting to get into producing, writing, and some of the stuff I was producing and writing, I was singing and doing myself, for a probable album or maybe some stuff for New Edition. I really didn't know, but I knew I was just staying creative and growing with the industry. And around that time, I think they got threatened that I was getting ready to try to leave the group or something. And this is what I heard later on, my perspective wrong. But at that time, I got a call from Gerald Busby, who was the president of MCA at the time, and said, man, listen, I don't need a New Edition without Ralph Tresvant. And I'm like, what you talking about? I'm right here. I ain't going nowhere. He said, well, they just left out of here with Johnny Gill. And he gave me the whole spiel. It's like what he told me, he said to them, he said, I told them the same thing. We can try some more comedy. We can add something, but I don't need to go out here and try to put out a New Edition album without Ralph. And so that's when he asked me to go down to Minneapolis. He said we were going to be working with Jimmy and Terry, which became my favorite producers, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis from Flight Time. And I put my stuff on hold with me to say, okay, that's fine. Let's do another New Edition album. And he guaranteed he was going to put out or help me further what I was doing as an individual right after that project. So when I got down there, Johnny was there. And I still had no part of the meetings or the conversation. Johnny was there as this new member, and I had never been a part of that whole conversation. So it was a lot of tension going on. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis felt it, and eventually slid us to the side. Say, listen, man, what's going on here? And that's when it all started coming out. Well, I didn't know this is what's going on. And this was like, Johnny's didn't even know. He was like, y'all didn't tell his brother that I was going to be there. It was one of those things. And me and Johnny got together afterwards, sat down in a hotel room, and we've been best friends ever since. Let's put it that way. We both got we started a bond right then in '88 that's still going on right now.
So there was a slim window where if you had left because you were simply trying to grow, it would have been a 4-man group because Bobby was out of there. So it had just been BBD and Gil.
That's how it was going into. That's how we was going into. Anyways, we was going into the new album as the 4 of us, regardless.
Right.
So they was getting ready to go in there with the new 4 as a combination. Yeah, with them 3 and Johnny. That was the intent.
They stand the rain without you.
Yeah.
They couldn't stand the rain, love unconditional. They couldn't do it. They couldn't do it.
There's love. You can't kill it now. You can't Candy Girl. You can't nothing without me, baby.
No.
That's so.
Ralph, wait, hold on.
Okay.
So Ralph Tresvant is here. And the new docuseries, A Closer Look, is on UMC streaming. You're gonna get all of the tea. I read somewhere that you filled in for Bobby Brown on every little step. I take that you were doing the vocals on that because he couldn't get his vocals up. Is that true?
That's not true at all. That's not true at all. I heard that a few times as well. But I do know this song was submitted to New Edition prior to Bobby doing it. But we were at the end of doing, I don't forget what album, that might have been the Heartbreak or the album right before that. I think it was the Heartbreak. But we were submitted that song as a New Edition record from Babyface, but we didn't have time to cut it. I don't know if we actually started on it, but then the budgets and time restraint was like, we got to put this album out now, and we couldn't finish it or something like that. But as far as I know, I'm not a part of that record. I'm not on there singing any backgrounds or any of that stuff. I've heard all of that they left my vocals in, and I'm actually doing a lot of the background and stuff. That's Bobby singing. Bobby's doing his lead. Bobby's singing.
Okay. I love you. You're a Taurus. Go ahead.
No, no, I wanted to go back to something you said at the beginning where you were like, it's time to work on you. And you wanted to get your leg and focus, on your solo situation. You've had a solo situation before. You've had success at it. What does winning at this stage of the game? What does winning look like for you?
Leaving something behind for the kids, continuing what I've been doing. You know, I think winning is, I don't look at it as winning as so much as I look at it as being able to continue providing, take care of yourself, adding to what you've been doing, growing. You know, this journey is about growing and seeing if I can, how long I can keep it going, how long I can make it all last. That's what everybody's doing. Once you get out here, it's tough to get out there, but it's harder to maintain it.
Yeah.
And so I look back and I look at 30 years in the game, just other things I just wish I had done. You know, 40-something years almost in the game. There's other things I wish I'd have gotten into. I'm into holistic medicine. I'm into science. I'm into, you know, I'm into writing books, and producing, and I could have been putting out other artists and doing the whole thing that a lot of, I see Puffy and even my own mans did, Michael did. He went out there and started putting Boys to Men and putting groups out. Just other things that I've just kind of put to the side because I was primarily being father most of my life, husband, dedicated to that side of my life and keeping it private. And really, that's what I did the New Edition thing for, to make sure I can always maintain and take care of that property. You know, I always had the means to make sure that they had the things they needed. And I was able to do that, I mean, exceedingly well with New Edition. I didn't need to do a lot of other things, so I didn't. And then looking back, when and for instance, when they didn't want to go out on this last run that we was talking about earlier, sitting around like, well, you know, if I really needed this one,
right?
If I really was in a position where I needed to go out right now and they just shot that down, what would I have done?
Yeah.
It woke me up it woke me up in a way that I had never been woken up before, and said, well, I got to make sure, you know, whether it's in the music industry, wherever it's going to be, I could take care of myself if everybody else decides they never want to do this again.
All right, there it is, folks. Appreciate y'all for tuning in the whole show. Hope you enjoyed the content on this Throwback Thursday. See y'all tomorrow with on Karen Hunter Show, Sirius XM, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And right here again on Let's Go Live at 6 p.m. with John Watson, all fun and games. Y'all be safe, man. Enjoy yourself. Tip your service on the way out.
I don't care if it is a closet. You still looking mad efficient.